before we start solving, this actually reviews one of our lessons from Unit 1, where we need to simplify the expressions, which is going to review distribution and also combining like terms. So remember, we can combine like terms, or we can combine things that have the same variable and same exponents. So in this case, I can add the x's together. Remember, it's basically I'm adding the numbers in front of them. So this is 6 plus 7, which is 13. So that's 13x, meaning we have 13 times x. Okay, or 13 x's in this equation. And the minus 9, we cannot add that with the x's. So we just write minus 9 after the 13x. So that is considered simplified. For 2, we would distribute this negative 3, making it negative 18x, and then plus 6, and there's nothing more that we can do with that either, because x's, or negative 18x and 6, are different terms. And then the last one, we need to distribute twice. So this is 5 times 3, which is 15x. 5 times negative 4, which is negative 20. And then this is a distribution step that a lot of students will mess up because they see the 7, but they don't include the sign in front of it. That 7 is negative. So we're going to distribute a negative 7 to both of those terms, making this a negative 7x and plus 14. Okay, so be very careful with your signs. Always look at the sign in front of the number, or to the left of the number that we are distributing. So now I need to combine my like terms, 15x and negative 7x, that's 8x. And then negative 20 and 14 combines to be negative 6. Okay, so the reason that this is your opener is we are going to include these sort of steps into our solving process, where we'll have to distribute, simplify, and then work on all the steps we've been doing this entire unit. So I'm going to make sure this is written down. And I'm going to do 4, 5, and 6 together. And then I'll have you all be working on the other problems in your groups. All right, so here are our steps. Distribute if you can. That's really more distribute if possible, if that actually shows up in the actual problem. Combine like terms if you can. This is basically us describing simplifying each side of the equation. Okay, after we simplify each side of the equation, that's when we'll go ahead and get the equation equal to 0 and do our same solving process we've been doing the entire unit. So simplify each side of the equation first. Okay. So number 4, I'm noticing on my right side I have some parentheses and a number in front, and thus I can distribute to simplify. So negative 8. And when we do this, and this is where, for those of you that don't like to show work, I need to see everything written down again. You're not just rewriting the right side. We're going to rewrite the whole equation. It does not take that much time. These are good habits that allow us to not make mistakes as we solve. So negative 8 times negative 10 is 80. Negative 8 times n is negative 8n. There's nothing that I can simplify, so now I can go ahead and get my left side to be 0. So minus 136. Minus 136. 80 minus 136, is that 56? Minus 8n. And again, this is the work that I want to see for each step that we take. Now that we have the left side to be 0, I can go ahead and subtract 56. So negative 56 equals negative 8n. And then to get n by itself, you need to divide by negative 8. So n equals 7. So for the most part, exactly what we've been doing besides the simplifying beforehand. All right, so for 5, now our distribution is going to be on the left side. I need to distribute a 4. Remember, when you're distributing, you're multiplying to everything in the parentheses. So 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times v is 4v, and it equals 88. Hey, notice that I'm not distributing across the equal sign, only distributing into the parentheses there. Then we'll get our right side to be 0. So minus 88. Minus 88. That gets that right side to be 0. 32 minus 88 would be negative 56. And then plus 4v. I'm going to double check that. Yep. And now that we have the right side to be 0, I can add that 56 right back. So 4v equals 56. Remember, 4v really means 4 times v, so we have to undo the multiplying by 4 by dividing by 4. And thus v is 2814. Remember my tip from yesterday when you're dividing by 4, if you don't want to use a calculator, you just take that number that you're dividing by 4, cut it in half, so half of 56 is 28. Then take 28, cut that in half. That's how I'm able to divide by 4 pretty quickly. Okay, last one we'll do together. These numbers, -4 and -7, those are like terms. They technically have the same variable, which means no variable in this case. And then they have the same exponent, so those are like terms. So -4 minus 7 is -11, and it equals 1. And now I can go ahead and start solving and getting the right side to be 0. So -1 minus 1. So 2v minus 12 equals 0. And now I'll add 12. (2v equals 12). Divide by 2. And v equals 6. Okay. Are there any questions with the distribution, the simplifying, or any of the solving steps that I took up or did for 4, 5, and 6? All right, once you have these written down, go and flip it over. We'll probably get rid of some of the problems we need to do on the notes. So let's see here. Let's do 7. I don't really need you to do that ugly decimal one. We'll do 7, then we'll check it. We'll do 9, get rid of 10. So let's have you do 7, 9, and 11. And what I want to do is actually the exact same thing that I had you all doing yesterday, but we ran out of time. And that's that I'm going to have you do these 3 problems. Do these 3 problems in your groups. Oh, let me pause the video because I'm done with that.